It's Driver Appreciation Week every week here at HireMaster, and we appreciate every driver out there making it happen. I'm Angela Roach, and this is Behind the Wheel, powered by HireMaster. Florida is one of several states working to relieve the driver shortage across America, most notably with a grant announced this week by Governor Ron DeSantis. The award handed out $8.2 million to 5 state colleges that will be able to train an estimated 1,200 new truck drivers each year. According to DeSantis, quote, "In Florida, over the past 3 years, we have made significant investments into workforce education with an emphasis on trucking and the entire transportation industry." End quote. During that 3-year stretch, the state of Florida has increased its capacity to train drivers by 350%, prompting the Florida Trucking Association to note that DeSantis, quote, "has been a champion of Florida's trucking industry," end quote. The colleges receiving the grants are Daytona State College, Valencia College, Northwest Florida State College, the State College of Florida, and Broward College, which received the largest grant at $2.6 million. The grant allows these institutions to cover a majority of the tuition for CDL programs, lowering the barrier for entry for those interested in becoming truck drivers. Some of the colleges, including the FTA, have partnered with Fleet Force Truck Driving School to increase the capacity of students in the program. The school has 100% graduation and placement rate, boasting that 1 in 3 students are women. To learn more about your next opportunity, visit www.hiremaster.com. Last week, we had a clip from Dr. Mark Manera of Supply Chain Fitness giving us tips for truck drivers to take on the road. For this week's health and fitness tip, we go back out to Dr. Mark Manera for another great tip.
Every truck driver knows that at the end of the night and you're getting a little bit hungry, some bad decisions start to be made. Here are 5 healthy snacks that you can keep in your truck and eat late at night that won't ruin your whole diet. Number 1, Greek yogurt. It's low in calories and high in protein, and you can add fruit and nuts to it to make it taste better. Number 2, string cheese. Grab it on the go, eat it as a late night snack, it's a good one. Number 3 is a personal favorite of mine. I love peanut butter and banana, and you can get your serving of fruit and vegetables in with this snack. Number 4, it's a good one, and it's really filling, but you gotta make sure you get the low sugar one, okay? And you can choose any flavor. I like maple brown sugar. Number 5, rounding it up, grab the barbecue chips. I love them.
Thank you for the great tip, Mark. You can find more tips from Mark on TikTok at Dr. Mark Manera. In the news this week, the Port of New York and the Port of New Jersey moved 843,191 TEUs of imports and exports in August, designating New York as the busiest port in the country. As reported by CNBC, historic volumes for import and export container processing disclosed in the month of August have outranked the Port of Los Angeles, wherein 805,314 containers were moved, and the Port of Long Beach, wherein 806,940 export and import containers were moved. Kevin O'Toole, the chairman of the Port Authority, acknowledged the notable cargo volumes processed and said, quote, "We are exceeding pre-COVID numbers, and it is astonishing, and it is a credit to the men and women who are moving the cargo with such efficiency. Our planning with rail to complement the actual infrastructure and the dredging are allowing this added capacity that would not have happened 4 or 5 years ago," end quote. In addition to the month of August achieving record-breaking volumes, the CNBC U.S. supply chain heat map anticipates further port congestion on the East Coast as a direct result of a continued increase in trade out of the ports of the East Coast and Gulf. Drivers working the ports along the Gulf Coast side of Florida will need to stay in communication with the local authorities as facilities such as Port Tampa Bay initiated its comprehensive emergency management in preparation for gale force winds earlier this week. And the warnings don't stop there, as the Port Heavy Weather Advisory Group, a network of local maritime entities, in conjunction with the Coast Guard, has extended hurricane port condition whiskey to Jacksport near Jacksonville. Officials with Port Tampa Bay said in a statement on Sunday that, quote, "As always, the port's priorities are safety of life, protection of the environment, and Maritime Commerce resiliency." Several companies, including Crowley Maritime and CSX, are keeping close eyes on Hurricane Ian as it heads towards the coast, preparing for potential adverse conditions as early as Friday. Scott Hess, Senior Director of Health, Safety, Security, Environment, and Sustainability at Crowley Maritime, stated, quote, "Right now we're monitoring the National Weather Service and we are adjusting what we're doing here at the port based on what the wind profiles are looking like," end quote. In this week's Weather Watch, as the weather starts to turn in many parts of the country, a rising number of accidents have hit America's highways. With temperatures beginning to approach freezing in some northern states and cooler rainfall in Midwestern states and New England, the number of accidents has begun climbing as we enter the fall season. Historically, truck accidents account for just under 7% of all accidents on the highways, but those accidents are responsible for 1 in every 7 accident-related deaths. If you are a driver on the road, be sure to check your local conditions and stay safe out there. With Hurricane Ian picking up steam and heading north towards the Florida Panhandle and northern parts of Florida, local residents have been urged to begin preparing for significant winds. During the hurricane season, the best thing to do is be prepared. Southwestern states such as Arizona will have high temperatures reaching into the 100s. Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama will experience slightly cooler temperatures into the 90s. Keep up to date with the weather in your region by tuning in to Behind the Wheel every week. And that's going to do it for Behind the Wheel. I'm Angela Roach. Be sure to follow us on LinkedIn and subscribe on YouTube to catch each episode and leave us a like and a comment. We'll see you next time on Behind the Wheel, powered by HireMaster.